The present perfect in Spanish describes actions that have happened, are connected to the present, or occurred within a time period that has not ended. In English, we say, I have eaten, using the auxiliary verb have and the past participle, eaten. In Spanish, we follow the same pattern because the tense is compound, consisting of haber in the present tense and a past participle. Haber is an auxiliary verb that helps the main verb, which has a participle form. In other words, haber carries the tense, and the participle carries the meaning. However, before saying conjugations, we need to understand how to make past participles, which in Spanish have two forms. For adverbs, take an infinitive, drop the ending ar, and add the ending ado. For and ir verbs, take the infinitive, drop the endings and ir, and add the ending ido. In perfect tenses, the words are paired with haber. Some examples are hablado, spoken, estudiado, studied, comido, eaten, aprendido, learned. This is a list of regular verbs, but Spanish has exceptions, which are irregular past participles. Some verbs don't follow this pattern, so we just have to remember them. Such verbs show up in many sentences. Hecho, made or done. Dicho, said. Visto, seen. Escrito, written. Roto, broken. Vuelto, turned. Abierto, opened. Puesto, put. After learning every type of participle, we can now see how to conjugate haber in the present perfect. Here, we return to the first part of the structure, so haber will use present tense conjugations, which are irregular. It will also never be alone in context, and it will always be paired with a past participle. I have. Has, you have. He, she has. Hemos, we have. Habéis, y'all have. Han, they have. Now, we can combine the conjugations with participles and see how the tense is used in context. He hablado con el profesor. ¿Has comido mucho hoy? Hemos vivido aquí por años. Ella ha hecho la tarea. Hemos visto esa película. Han escrito un libro. No he terminado. No han abierto la puerta. Every action is in the present perfect, and time expressions help us understand how the tense fully operates. Overall, this is how it works, but in this lesson, it's important to consider another use of past participles. In Spanish, a participle can function as an adjective and describe a noun instead of forming a tense. When a participle is an adjective, it must agree in gender and number, which works like any other adjective. The key difference is that the present perfect is a grammatical tense that has haber, a participle, and no agreement, while an adjective agrees in gender and number. Let's take escrito, written, as an example. In the present perfect, it's invariable, escrito, but as an adjective, its ending will be affected by gender and number, which applies to any participle as an adjective. By using escrito in context, we can make sentences like el libro escrito, la carta escrita, los libros escritos, las cartas escritas. In this case, the adjectives are paired with nouns and go after, which is grammatically correct. But there are other ways that we can use participles as adjectives. Often, adjectives can be used with estar for resulting states and ser in the passive voice, like la puerta está abierta. Las ventanas están cerradas. El libro fue escrito por el autor. Las casas son construidas rápidamente. Ultimately, if we're describing the result or state of something, we need agreement in adjectives. But if we say what happened, we use a tense. So, this is how the present perfect and past participles fully work in Spanish.